meditation or dhyan, sadhana and tapasya, the difference. First of all, we'll get into them, but first of all, it's really important not to get ourselves worked up over semantics. Spirituality is something to be felt and experienced and lived, and whether you want to call it my meditation, or you want to call it my sadhana, or you want to call it my tapasya, it's all good. Just do it. Now, sadhana, literally translated as spiritual practice. So sadhana is going to include all of the aspects of our spiritual practice. Chances are it includes some seated meditation, the kind where we sit in the dark or our eyes closed, chant a mantra, do some meditation. Chances are that sadhana will include some service, seva. Puja Swamiji says there is no difference between seva and sadhana. They are one. But when you give us these semantic differences, so let's call sadhana this broad umbrella of spiritual practice. What's it made of? What are the bricks that make up sadhana? Rather than umbrella, think of it actually as a temple that's made up of lots of bricks. What are the bricks of sadhana? Well, all of the things that constitute your spiritual practice. It can be your meditation, your yoga, your pranayam, your japa, your seva for sure. It could be being polite and nice and loving to your mother-in-law who is horrible to you. That's also sadhana. Because that's staying grounded and anchored in your spiritual practice. That's staying as an energetic transmitter of love. Wo bhi sadhana hai. So sadhana is everything that is part of our spiritual practice, that is bringing us closer to God. It could include fasting, it could include pilgrimages, it could include the whole gamut of the things that bring us closer to the divine. Tapasya is very, very similar to sadhana, but typically it tends to refer more to what in English we would call austerities. But it's a semantic difference, and typically sadhana and tapasya can be used interchangeably. All of the things that I just gave you as parts of sadhana also are parts of tapasya. But typically sadhana gets translated as spiritual practice. Tapasya tends to get translated as austerities. So when we think of tapasya, we think of fasting, something that's very severe. But a lot of times, staying spiritually grounded and anchored is very severe, wherever you are. You don't have to be in a jungle. You don't have to be refraining from food. That tapasya is whatever you are doing that is connecting you to the divine. But there's typically, usually when we think about it, an element of sort of hardship. When you think of tapasya, you think of hardship in some way. It doesn't have to be hard. And meditation, of course, dhyan, we tend to think of it as what we do when we sit with our eyes closed. But it doesn't have to be. Meditation, as we always emphasize, like yoga, is not just what you do, it's who you are. So meditation is not just that which you do on a cushion any more than yoga is that which you do on a mat. It's how you live. How do I live my meditation? In my meditation, I'm connecting with God. Well, when I stand up from my cushion, do I lose that connection? I shouldn't, if my meditation is strong. if my meditation is good. And so they really all can be used interchangeably. Meditation is that which we do to connect with God. If you look at the 8 limbs of yoga, right before samadhi, the 7th is dhyan, meditation. So as we move up, right before we get into divine samadhi, that ecstatic bliss of union, we're doing meditation. So that's what brings us into that union. As is sadhana, as is tapasya. So just do it.